Welcome back to Budget Bosses. My name is Gustavo, and today I'm gonna show you guys how you can make an easy and cheap smoked meatball sub. So if you guys are interested, first make sure you guys like, make sure you comment, make sure you subscribe, and you hit that notification bell so that way you know every single time that we're dropping a new video. I'm not wasting any more of your guys' time, so let's get right into making this recipe. Whoa! Alright guys, so before I start making the meatballs, the first thing you're gonna wanna do is you're gonna wanna grab your Pit Boss cast iron and we're gonna put it into the smoker. Now I put my cast iron into the smoker at 225 degrees and I'm gonna let it heat up before we actually place our meatballs on top. Now let's start making the ground beef mix.
In order to make the ground beef mix, you're gonna wanna get 1 pound of ground beef and we're gonna put it into a mixing bowl like this. The recipe serves 2 to 3 people, but I am gonna be doubling up because we're feeding people at the office today. Then I'm gonna chop up 1/2 of an onion and I'm gonna add that to my 1 pound of ground beef. Then I'm gonna add 2 eggs, and then I'm gonna add 1 cup of Italian breadcrumbs. Then I add 2 teaspoons of roasted garlic paste, and then I'm gonna add our Pit Boss Bold Burger Rub. And like I said, I'm gonna be doubling up on this recipe, so I'm gonna add another pound of ground beef, the other half of my onion, one more cup of Italian breadcrumbs, 2 teaspoons of roasted garlic paste, and then a little bit more of our Bold Burger Rub. And then we're gonna mix it around until we get a nice mixed consistency from the ground beef. I'm gonna put in my 2 eggs again once I mix it around a little bit. And then we're gonna make the meatballs. So you're gonna want to press them out. Depending on how big you want your sandwich to be, it should be 3 to 4 meatballs. And then I just put them into my Pit Boss aluminum foil pan. Today we're gonna be cooking on our Pit Boss DX unit. You can find these exclusively at Lowe's. I'm gonna put a little bit of oil on my cast iron just so that way my meatballs don't stick to the bottom. And just fit them in there. With the 2 pounds of ground beef and rolling them to about 1.5 inch balls, then it should be enough to fill up this full pan. I'm gonna open up my sear plate and put it in there for a little bit and let it heat up. You do want to watch it if you open the sear plate and close the lid, but I just let it run for about 5 minutes. Let it get really hot. I'll flip my meatballs over. I'll let it cook for another 10 minutes or so till we get this nice bright pink color on the meatballs. Alright, and then once we let the other side of them cook, I'm then gonna add my tomato paste puree. I'm gonna use 2 cans. For 1 pound, it's 1 can, but since we have 2 pounds of ground beef, I'm gonna add 2 cans of this. Then I'm gonna add my chili flakes. Then I'm gonna add 2 tablespoons of red pepper flakes. This is optional. I'm gonna add 2 teaspoons of roasted garlic paste. You can either make this at home or you can buy it at the store. I'm gonna mix around my sauce a bit, let it cook. Then I'm gonna add my 2nd can. I'm gonna add more garlic paste, more red pepper flakes, and then after I do that, Then I'm gonna add my basil leaves. Now I chopped up about 10 of them. I left a little handful on the side just so that way I can garnish my sandwiches after. And then we're just gonna mix it around. It might be a little difficult to mix it around inside the cast iron, but just be patient with it. Make sure you're still flipping them. Let the sauce heat up. You'll see it to start to boil. Just keep moving the sauce around with the meatballs. Then I got my hoagie buns. I got them at Walmart for $2 for a pack of 6. So I got my hoagie buns. And then I'm gonna just slice it right down the middle. You don't have to put any butter or anything like that on the bread. When you put it on the smoker dry, then it gives it more of a smoky, charred flavor when it comes to the bread. All right, now we're gonna put together the sandwiches. So I'm gonna open them up, place 3 meatballs into the sandwich. I think this is perfect because if you chop it in half, you get an even amount. But it's totally up to you. So I'm gonna line them up in my Pit Boss foil pan. I'm gonna continue to build out the sandwiches. I'm gonna line them up like this so that way they stand straight up. I'm gonna grab some of that remaining sauce from the pan and I'm gonna just place it on top of my sandwiches. I don't like to put the sauce on the bread beforehand because it makes it really soggy. I'm gonna add my shredded mozzarella cheese. I found some at the store that melts really easily. And then I'm gonna pop my pan with the meatball subs into the smoker one more time. I'm gonna put it on the top rack and I'm gonna let it just get nice and melted. You don't want to overcook it because you'll burn your bread. And then I'm going to put some fresh basil leaves on top. And look at that. That looks absolutely delicious. So then after I put my fresh basil leaves, I'm going to add some fresh Parmesan. I'm going to grate it over the top of it. And this was my favorite part of the entire experience, is just seeing the sandwich come together. We didn't spend too much on this. I mean, we got ground beef with some basic ingredients that you would have in your cupboard and in your refrigerator, and then just buying some affordable bread and making a really good sandwich out of this.
All right, budget bosses, so there you have it. We're putting the final touches onto our smoked meatball sub. I have them toasting in the back for a little bit longer, just so that way the cheese can get nice and melty. Then I'm gonna chop them in half. I'm gonna sample it out for you guys, and then we'll be wrapped up with this episode. Before I do that, make sure you go download the Pit Boss Grills app and go to our recipe page. When you find this recipe, make sure you guys rate it 5 stars. 5 out of 5, it's much appreciated. And it's delicious. All right, so let's pull these sandwiches real quick. Bam, I have not seen a better looking meatball sub than I have today in front of my very eyes. Even when I tested this recipe, it didn't look as good as this. And that's a promise to you guys. So I'm gonna try this out. I'm gonna let you know what I think, and then we'll wrap up the episode. Lord. This is freaking good. Oh my Lord. Whoa. These meatball subs are absolutely delicious. if you guys want to make it, make sure to click the link in the description below so that way you can view this full recipe, print it out, and try it at home. Also, make sure you guys leave a like, comment, subscribe, and you hit that notification bell so that way you know every single time that we drop a new video. And also, if you made it this far, put in the comments, Mommy's Little Meatball. All right? And then we'll do something fun for you guys next time. Without further ado, my name is Gustavo. This was another episode of Budget Boss. And always remember, everyone's got to eat.